Hello everyone, you're watching Campus Channel and we are here today with SKEMA Business School. We're going to talk about the MSc in Project Management and Program Management and Business Development. We have the Paris Program Director, Dr. Adil ELTIGANI, and we have a student, Andrea VALTULINI, here to take your questions. But first, we are going to start with the pitch. All right, Adil, you have 60 seconds flat. Are you ready?
Yep.
Okay, go.
Thank you. Well, project management is required in all fields of business and in all industries. And recent surveys show that there is demand in project management, but with mix of skills like leadership and strategy. Okay, and that's what we do. We prepare our students to meet these demands. So the program runs in 3 campuses, in Paris campus, Lille, and Belo Horizonte, with 3 different specializations. In the program, we teach what we call the spine courses, the core fundamental project management courses, and these run in the 3 campuses. And in every campus, there is a specialization. Basically 4 subjects or 4 courses. In Paris is project management for business excellence.
All right, time's up. Maybe we'll get to the rest later. I'm sure there will be a question about it. We're going to move on to the face-to-face. Please remember to keep sending us your questions. They're going to show up right there. So let's take the first one, and I will let Adil read this for us. It's going to show up right here. All right, here we are.
Can I change campus each semester? Does the curriculum change? Yes, the curriculum changes, as I said, that different specializations in different campuses. Project management for business excellence in Paris, global project management in Lille, and international development and change management in Belo Horizonte in Brazil.
Okay.
So, but to answer your question, yes, you can change if you apply from the beginning that you want to do 1 semester here and 1 semester in another campus.
So it has to be planned out and organized in advance.
Yeah, in advance.
And Andrea, which campus are you on?
I'm now on the Paris campus,
even
though previously I studied in the Raleigh campus in North America, but last year my MSc, so the second year my specialization was fully done in the Paris campus.
Okay, so what's the advantage of changing campuses? Have you had a benefit, do you see?
In my experience, the advantage is meeting new culture, meeting new people, also studying with teachers who come from a different culture and therefore give you a little bit of a different insight in the subjects that you study. And I just think that SKEMA, being a school that offers this type of experiences, it would be a pity not to take it, because it really, in my opinion, it really adds something to your curriculum and to your personal self.
Yeah, you have the opportunity, so why not?
Yeah, exactly.
Do most of the students tend to change campuses?
Not too many.
Okay.
Not too many. Yeah, I mean,
only the adventurous.
do the program in one campus. Few choose to change depending on their career plan, what they want to do. They may think to take business excellence courses in Paris and then decide to go for global project management in Lille. But not too many, but the option is there.
All right, let's take the next question here. Andrea, will you read this, please?
Sure. What do you mean by the specialization title, Project Management for Business Excellence? Shouldn't all work be for business excellence?
Well, it's a very good question. Yeah, I agree with you. It all work to be for business excellence, yes, but here it's a specialization. We believe that project managers need to acquire global management knowledge. Okay, so in this specialization we teach performance management, we teach performance improvement, we teach business excellence models. So we prepare students who can fit into the organization in different fields and in different levels.
All right, so how does this compare to the other specializations that you have? What is different about this particular specialization?
Well, as I said at the beginning, there is the spine courses, which is the same in the 3 campuses. Okay, in Lille, the specialization is global project management. So they study courses related to managing projects across cultures, across time zones, across countries, okay, and also focus on mega projects, okay. In Paris, as I said, we prepare students to contribute into in their organizations, to contribute into improving performance in projects and organizational in general.
All right, let's take this next question here. Andrea, will you read this, please?
Does this program deliver additional certification related to project management? Are additional certificates required for employment? Well, first of all, required for employment, no, but they definitely add something to your CV. And to answer the question, if it does, yeah, it does. In the first semester, we passed 2 certifications. It was the Agile PM and the Prince 2, exactly. And they're both project manager certifications. They're well known in the project management environment, and well, they teach a lot. They're interesting certifications in the sense that they give you a clear idea about what project management is about. And so I think it's interesting on 2 sides, because on one side, again, it helps you improve as a project manager, and on the other, it also adds something, you know, real and tangible to your curriculum.
Yeah.
Are these certifications mandatory, or are all students required to pass these?
Yeah, Prince 2 and Agile are mandatory. Okay. There is optional CAPM or PMP certifications. Okay, we register students for these certifications, and the knowledge about these certifications is spread in different courses, but the students choose to do it or not. Okay, most of them they do. Okay, the CPM does not require experience. PMP requires about 3 years of experience. Okay, so depending on their experience, they choose to do this or that, or maybe not. But most of them they do. Okay,
so are the mandatory certifications that you mentioned that you passed in the first semester, is there additional studying that's required to pass these?
Yeah, yes. Yeah. You definitely have to prepare them on your own, because it's a platform. You can go on the platform and study. I mean, everything is provided by SKEMA, but then it's not things that you necessarily cover in class. Many of these things are things you just have to study outside of the class environment.
So you mentioned that you already have a job lined up, and I'm sure you've been interviewing. Have these certifications come up in your job interviews?
Yeah, they did. They did. The interviewer in my case knew one of the 2, and so she was, let's say, positively impressed by the fact that I had one of the 2. The other one, she asked me more about it because she didn't know it, and I told her what it was, but I'm sure they did have an impact on it, yeah, for sure.
All right, very good. Let's take the next question here, Adil.
Yeah. You emphasize the Lille campus location as near to Brussels, Paris, and London. Does the program actually take advantage of that? Well, it's a good question. Well, we try to locate the programs based on the nature of the economy, I would say, in each city. So Paris is a business center, so that way we thought business excellence is more suitable for Paris. Okay, in Lille, well, yes, of course. I mean, Lille is I would say is very near Brussels and Paris and London, and it's intersection of all these routes. So yes, we take advantage of the location, and we try to prepare graduates who will fit in this kind of economy.
So in what ways does the program take advantage of this location? Do you plan trips to Paris and Brussels and London for the students? Are there?
No.
Okay.
We don't organize that.
So
students can choose to do.
Okay, so yeah, what would be the advantage, Andrea?
There are sometimes, let's say, we had a class in which we had to do events, and those events had to be available to all PPMVD students. And though some of them might have been in Paris or in Lille, they were of course available to the students of the other campus. And we, of course, also have between students way of talking to each other through Facebook and stuff. And so when there is an event in one of the 2 campuses, you can easily join the other one. And also for the career day as well. You know, you can do a career day in Lille even though you're a student from Paris. So I guess in that sense there is a certain interconnection between the 2.
Well, this is a very good point, Andrea. Yeah, I mean, we have a course called Project Practice Portfolio, and it's in all campuses. In this course, students plan and execute projects, real projects. As Andreas mentioned, there are projects that are events. and students from different campuses invite the students to join these events, okay, or it can be study trip if they want, okay. So this semester we had a couple of these kind of projects.
We did.
All right, let's move on to the next question. Looks like it's for Andrea.
Yeah. Hi Andrea, what did you study before and why did you choose this program at SKEMA? So I'm Italian, so before I studied in Milan at Bocconi University, I did a bachelor in international economics, management and finance. And so that was my background, was again a management type of background. It's something I like and I wanted to continue in this field. So the way I got to SKEMA was initially I just looked online for the better schools in Europe, because of course coming from a good school I didn't want to downgrade, let's say. And so that was the initial screening I did. Then once I individuated a few schools which were interesting, I looked more in detail into them. And I guess what really sold me on SKEMA were mainly a couple of things. The first one is the very international atmosphere and environment, the easiness with which you can travel between campuses, because I guess all schools offer good exchange programs, but SKEMA makes it really easy because they, let's say, own the campuses, and therefore you can really travel easily between campuses. And also, I enjoyed the specific mastery that SKEMA offered. So it was mainly those two aspects that sold me on SKEMA.
Did you consider other schools that didn't have these particular aspects?
No, all the schools I looked into had the multi-campus factor, and eventually the choice came down to the program. So it was a screening which led me to very few schools, and then I chose the specific school thanks to the specific program.
So what were some of the specificities of the curriculum in this program that really snagged you?
Well, I felt like it was very practical, which is something that I felt like I needed, because in my previous academic experience I had a lot of theory, and I felt like I was quite ready in that aspect, and I was lacking a bit this other one. And this master offered that. Also, I entered SKEMA at M1, so I had the choice with the PERCHET program, so I wasn't yet sure between two programs that I really liked, and therefore I liked the idea of being able to do another year of school before having to choose. So it was a few things that put together really made it a good choice for me.
All right, very good.
Well,
Adil,
just to add to what Andrea said, the program is really very practical. Okay, of course we teach the theoretical part, that we have to do that, okay, but we have a lot of parts that are really practical. So we prepare the students to, when they graduate, ready to join the job market. Adding to this also the question, what has been, no, this is a different question.
Next one.
Okay, so the question about your background before you joined project management. In project management, we accept the students from diverse fields. Okay, so engineering, business and management, social science, IT. So it's an interdisciplinary topic. So we accept diverse backgrounds.
got it. All right, we have another question here for Andrea.
Yep, so they asked me, what has been the most valuable experience in this program for you so far? Well, and it's a bit what I was saying before, it's the practical aspect of it, because we have many projects to do in general in classes, and many of them are also to be done outside of classes and in the real world. So for instance, in the first semester we organized an event which was a career day, so we actually brought to school many companies and organized a real career day. So we had another project, for instance, of developing a project in Morocco for a very rural village to improve their living conditions. And so I feel like many of the projects we have are very related to reality
and value adding,
and
there was a conference also.
There was a conference also. Yeah, in general, there's many of these events, many of these projects, and I feel like that would be my most valuable experience, because they prepare me well for what's going to come after, I think.
Okay, and Adil, in your opinion, what is the biggest value add for students by doing this program?
Well, I would say the program is up to date. Okay, we study the market. We know, we can anticipate what the market needs, okay, in terms of skills, competencies, and we review and revise the program every year to keep it up to date.
All right, we're going to take a quick break from the face-to-face because it's time for 3 words max. Our guests have 3 words to describe their program, and they get 1 phrase to explain each word. All right, Adil, I think you're giving us all 3 words, so let's start with number 1.
Okay, innovation. Okay, I would say we prepare innovators and entrepreneurs.
Okay, and number 2?
Number 2, digitalization. We prepare our students for digital change in organizations.
Great, and number 3, very last word?
Number 3, I would say globalization. Okay, we prepare our students to understand the global differences or similarities and the local differences.
All right, that's a lot of Asians, but well done. We'll move back to the questions here, and we have another for Andrea.
Okay, so the question is, hi Andrea, how intense is the workload? Is there time to have a social life outside of school and with other people not in the program? The workload is intense, but there's definitely time to, of course you have free time, also because we work a lot in class, so sometimes if you, I guess, are really efficient, you can save up some time from after by working really well in class, and therefore, yeah, there is time to socialize. There's also after works that students organize, so there is a way to meet other people, and also people outside of the program. In my case, I'm, I guess, a little bit facilitated in the sense that I had my first year here in Paris again with students from other campuses as well, because the first year is more general and you're not yet divided by MSCs, and therefore I have many friends from back then, but also for people who just join later, they can at afterworks or SKEMA events, which are not just for the PPMD course but for the whole school, you can meet people. So yeah, you can have a good social life as well. Okay,
and do you hang out with people who don't go to SKEMA? Do you meet people outside of SKEMA?
Well, not being from Paris, most of the people I met are from SKEMA. Okay. I have a few friends outside, which are actually people who moved to Paris from back home, but let's say most of the people I meet are from SKEMA, yes.
All right, and so what are some of the activities that are organized at SKEMA? You said some afterworks.
Yeah,
what
afterworks
else?
Or just parties in general. You also have sometimes at school some, let's say, events where like games or in general some games at school, but most of the things I would say are afterworks or parties outside of school.
Okay, and what about associations? Do you have time to get involved in associations?
I personally haven't been involved in associations, but many of my classmates have, so that's an option, of course.
All right, and Adil, are there any associations that are specifically related to this program or that are appropriate for students?
Related to the program, no.
Okay.
But there are associations at SKEMA, yes.
Got it.
Adding to this, this is why I chose globalization as one of the keywords. At SKEMA we have about 100 nationalities. And in this program, I think we have 17 or 18 nationalities. So there is an opportunity for students to meet people from other cultures and nationalities.
All right. Okay, let's take the next question here. Adil, will you read this, please?
Can you explain your vision a little more, please? Empower people to make the world a better place. Is this a humanitarian degree? Well, humanity is in everything. Okay, it's not a humanitarian degree, but humanity is in everything. And in education, we deal with humans. We prepare humans to work with humans, for humans. Okay, so yeah, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to graduate students who understand these humanitarian and social dimensions in what they do.
And so, pertaining to this vision, how are you empowering your students? In what ways are you empowering them to make a positive impact or to make a difference?
Okay, for example, in the course I mentioned, Project Practice Portfolio, we ask students to plan and execute real-life projects. They bring the projects, or we can give them ideas for projects. So we encourage them to deliver value. And I can really see that most of my students tend to do humanitarian kind of projects. Okay, Andrea mentioned one of them. Okay, there is a project right now also, a group of students who are who organize some event to collect some money for humanitarian activities.
So Andrea, tell me a little bit more about this project that you mentioned. You mentioned something about a village in Morocco, or?
Yeah, there was it was a project we did in the first semester, and we had this teacher, this professor, who beside being an academics teacher, she also is involved in real life projects. I mean, she works as well for a company which does a lot of projects, and one in particular that she's been involved for a long time. It's this project in Morocco. It's focused on a really rural village of Morocco, so they have very few resources, and it's about economic development of the town. And therefore, what she basically gave to us to do was, we had a few options, a few possible projects, and we had to analyze the various projects and come up with first of all, choose which ones we believed were more important to develop, and then actually come up with a way to develop them, and also with a cost-profit analysis to understand which one were the more viable and the better suited. And eventually, what happens with our reports is that they're sent to other people who are the people who are actually then in charge of implementing the project. So our ideas are directly brought to the person and then directly brought to the reality of the village.
Wow, that's impressive.
So yeah, that was really, really cool.
All right, let's take the next question here. Andrea, will you read this, please?
Do you offer exchange programs beyond your own campuses in France and Brazil?
You want me to ask? Okay. Yes, we accept exchange students. Okay, students can join our program for one semester if they choose to do so.
So are there any opportunities for SKEMA students to go to other schools
Yes, absolutely.
outside of SKEMA?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So what are those options? What are those opportunities? Is it partner universities or?
There is a list of universities where we have a partnership with. Not fully aware of this list, to be honest, but I accept exchange students in my program.
So, but what about SKEMA students who want to go somewhere else outside of the Brazil campus or the Raleigh campus or in France? Can they go to partner universities as well?
As I said, I'm not sure about the
Okay.
rule.
I'm
pretty sure they can, because I know of a friend of mine who is now studying in South Korea, Seoul, and he was in the course. So he's an example. I'm sure there are others I don't know about, but I'm sure there are some partner universities in which you can go and study our program.
Got it.
Well,
yes.
They can send, or he or she can send us an email, and I will get the definite information.
Very good. All right, we're going to have the next question that's going to show up here. There we go. And Adil, will you read this for us, please?
What corporate links and relationship does this program have that benefit the students? Okay, very good question. At SKEMA we have what you call the career center, and this career center is responsible about creating corporate relationships with companies and organize career days and career fairs. Okay, and we also use these relationships sometimes to do projects with the companies, for our students to do projects with the companies, and of course for internship and finding jobs.
Okay, and so are there any particular partnerships that you have with companies that might benefit the students? Are there any companies who come in and bring projects, or what kinds of very specific corporate links do you have?
Very specific activities that we do. As I mentioned, the career days is every Tuesday, right? Every Tuesday the Career Center invites companies to come and present the jobs that they have.
Okay.
There is a career fair every year. Okay, and if there is a specific requirement for some students to go and do projects with companies, I can contact the Career Center, and they provide me with the with the contacts in these companies.
Andrea, have you seen SKEMA, or has SKEMA helped you or shown you how to connect more easily with companies, or have they provided you opportunities outside of just the career day or the career fairs to easily get in touch with?
Well, do you sometimes some workshops or conferences where professionals come and they give you tips about how to even send applications? There are workshops about improving your curriculum. So there are sometimes events where people from outside school come and they give you, let's say, they can help you out in reaching out companies or improving your application system and so on. So yes, some events, yes.
Yeah, and also we have an advisory board. Okay, these are people from companies, and we meet every year to review and revise the program.
Very good. All right, Adil, you're going to take the next question. We're going to say goodbye to Andrea.
It was a pleasure, thank you.
Thank you very much, Andrea, for coming in. Adil, will you read the next question for us, please?
Okay.
There we are.
What are common career outcomes of graduates of this program? Career outcomes.
So what kinds of jobs do
what kind of
students...
jobs? Well, right. As I mentioned at the very beginning, project management is in every field. It's in every business, every type of industry. Our graduates get jobs as project managers or project assistants. Some big number of my students actually get jobs as consultants with consulting companies. Okay, and then small, medium, and big government companies also.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, speaking of career outcomes, we have welcomed an alumnus, Manaëlle, who did this program. You graduated last year, is that correct?
Yeah, last April.
Okay, do you want to tell us a little bit about your experience there and what you do now?
Yeah, so I came up to the Master of Science of PPMBD from September to April. During this session, actually, what is really value creative is the practical exercises, theoretical course. And after that, well, I came back to the company where I was as a recruiter. So now I'm more making and putting all into the machine so that I can help and facilitate as a Scrum Master the different projects that we may have.
All right, very good. And was it, so you went back to the company that you were already working for. You completely changed job functions.
Yeah, because actually this is, we work as a startup. Our work is to help companies to turn to agile. Today you have more and more companies, big companies which are lagging behind, and they really need to take the lift and avoid of being Uberized by smaller companies like GAFAs or Amazons. So the main challenge is to help them to take this lift to agile.
So Manaelle already had professional experience whenever she started this program. Is it common for students to come with professional experience, or do they typically come directly from previous studies?
Most of them come without experience, to be honest. Okay. A few of them come with 2, 3, 4 years of experience, or more than that. But the majority are fresh.
Is there a threshold of experience that you say is too much experience, you shouldn't do this program?
No.
What's the average age range?
I have students with 10 years of experience or more. Yeah.
What's the average age range of students?
Average age range, I would say 24.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 24 until even 30. I had people coming from Latin America, United States, Asia. So this is a Master of Science where you have a very good mix of international people.
Yeah, and that enriches the program.
All right, very good. We have a question here from Manaëlle.
Hello, Manaelle. Did you use the career services at SKEMA? What is helpful? Yeah, I used it because you have career days, you have many ways to socialize with people, to exchange, to dig further about different careers. Anyway, this ecosystem, which is available at SKEMA, helps you to search ways and to exchange and to, do whatever you want as from you create value, as from you do your workload seriously, that you deliver your projects. You have many ways to build your own careers through the path.
Had you always planned to go back to the company that you had been working for? Did you consider looking at other jobs?
To be honest, I stayed open because I wanted to know which opportunity could come to me. But I was quite sure I would come back to humanity.
And so whenever you were looking at these other opportunities, what was the offering like? What do you feel like there was a wide variety of industries and companies?
Most of them were based on project management, business development, or social recruitment. Yeah, so it's quite large. This is your own choice to know where you want to be specialized. You have the basics, now you have to go ahead. And I had my thesis to finish, so I really wanted to focus this on agile transformation at scale, and being at Humanity was the way to succeed in this aim.
All right, very good. Moving on, up next we have the expert question. All right, Adil, here's your expert question. If you'll read this for us, please.
Okay. Project management seems like a job that could just as well be learned on the job. Wouldn't it be better learn through experience after a bachelor and pursue an MBA or similar later? Yes, you can learn project management on the job, but you can't learn everything. Okay. I learned project management on the job and later decided to do my master and PhD in project management. Because when you do an MSc, okay, you're studying the findings of research. Okay, you're learning from benchmarking. So you will be up to date with the knowledge. Okay, that's designed and delivered by professionals and professors. Okay, so students who have experience and who join the program really benefited from the program. Okay, we are encapsulating a lot of things in 16 or 18 months.
Okay, and so Manaelle, when you joined this program, how much of the content would you say was brand new information for you?
Brand new, I would say like 60% maybe, because they give you the theory, it's your job to put into practices. And this is what I told you before, like you have many exercises either on the short term with different collocated teams or dislocated teams, as it's a global Master of Science, and you have long-term project that you can lead yourself. Mine was from 2 to 8 months. So yeah, that's the best opportunity to really practice it. And I would say that the difference between doing the practice first and then learn, or learn at SKEMA and then implement it at the workplace is far different, because maybe first you will pick up some ideas somewhere, but you don't know how to do it, rather than when you have the theory, you can make a POC, what we call a POC, into your small team as 5 to 10 people, and then implement it at the workplace. So it's a way to, well, test and learn and make it better later.
Would you have been able to change job functions within your company without doing this degree? Or do you feel like doing this degree really facilitated that change of path?
I think it facilitated a lot, because it provides some certification as well, what we call Agile PM. To be honest, Prince 2, to me, to my own mind, is not the Agile certification. And honestly, a certification is only a paper. If you don't put it into practice, it's not valued. So I think really the Master of Science gives you the tools to be able to implement it later.
Yeah.
Yes, go ahead, Adil.
In the program, we don't teach project management only. It's not only project management. It's project management and related topics. Such as strategy. Okay, for example, performance management and performance improvement. Okay, so our graduates can choose later, as you said, to change even track. You can choose to work as in strategic planning, okay, or choose to work in HR. Okay, as you're probably doing. Yeah.
All right. We've already had this question, so we need a new question, please. All right, there we go. Manaëlle, will you read this, please?
What are the criteria for studying in Brazil?
So, Adil, would you like to answer that one?
Well, it's the same recruitment criteria.
Okay.
In Paris or Brazil or Lille. So what we are looking for students with 4 years bachelor degree for the 1 year program, or 3 years, okay, for the 2 years program. So, and we are looking at certain level of English, For example, 813 the TOEIC exam for the 1 year, 800 for the 2 years program. What we really look for, we look for candidates who really have the motivation to study in this program. So when we interview candidates, this is the most important thing I'll be looking for, to establish motivation, a real understanding of the program and the possibilities for the career path.
Yeah,
yes, Manaelle.
The last question, one of the last question was that the vision of this Master of Science was to empower people to make this world a better place. I would say that this really sticks to one of the Gandhi's quotes, which is, be the change you want to see in the world. Well, this is exactly what this kind of Master of Science can provide.
It's very profound.
It's to you to make the difference, actually. If you don't work, you will not have the benefits of it. But if you really dig further and you exchange with your professors and enjoy and profit by the international students that you have, it's really enriching.
All right, let's take the next question here. Manaelle.
What hands-on projects are incorporated into this program for concrete experience? Okay, well, you have one exercise which is on 3 days. And it's only on internet, which means that you can't see face-to-face your team, any one of your team. And you have some milestones and pillars to reach during these 3 days. And at the end of the 3 days, we can see the results of what did you create. You have others that the one from 2 to 8 months. As an example, we were 10 people within this team, and we decided not only to make the business plan. Because you can, if you want to launch your company and make a business plan for 8 months, it's okay, it's validated by SKEMA. But what we wanted to do was to implement it. So we did, and this is what provides also SKEMA, the tools to make it.
So there's not one single period where you're not busy with some kind of hands-on concrete project?
You always have something to do. Yeah.
And was it hard to juggle? Was it doable? Were there any times that were overwhelming?
Yeah, I was part of many associations, not during the last year, but all the way long SKEMA. You can have social life, go partying, because I love it too. And this is the place where you can do develop your social skills. Today, theory is not enough. If you are in a global world in which everything changes really fastly, you have to know how to make concrete links.
And do these concrete projects that you're working on, are these examples that you can use on your CV and in interviews with your employers?
Yeah, definitely. Actually, this one was a really, I would say, personal one. I was in a humanitarian association before, and I planned to help a village in India so that the women would be autonomous during their menstrual period. Well, what we decided was to not provide them with tampons or pads or stuff like this, but to give them an opportunity to have something on which they could rely on several years. And today you have a tool which is called a cup, which is quite revolutionary. And we wanted to make it global. And after that, we were saying like the women, even in France, need that. So why don't we think local? And we did it in Lille. So we took 150 cups from a company in Europe after sending hundreds of mail from these companies. And finally, we found this company. We found an association helping homeless women in streets. And we just made the link between the two. So the 150 cups were delivered and everything for free.
Wow, there are a lot of humanitarian aspects to this program. Unfortunately, we are almost out of time, so we're going to have to wrap up. Manaelle, very quickly, would you like to leave us with some last words, and then Adil will conclude for us.
I would say that if you want to act within the world and you want to do something great, this Master of Science could be a solution. It's not only humanitarian, it's really professional. The name is Project and Program Management and Business Development. So make it.
Very good. And Adil?
Well, okay. Well, I think I truly believe we have a unique program. that really designed to meet the demands in the market. We have a program that is global. We have many nationalities in this program and at the SKEMA at large, which offers more opportunities for socializing and for learning from other cultures. Okay, the program is always updated and reviewed and revised, okay, to stay up to date.
All right, very good. Well, thank you both very much for being here and answering our questions. And thank you for watching. We'll see you again next time right here on Campus Channel.